All right, today we've got a pretty laid back video, nothing too serious today. There are only a few things I want to blab on about. One has to do with matchmaking and a few things I've seen floating around, and the other has to do with game modes in general and a few modes I'd like to see make their way to the game one day. Anyways, as always, if you do watch these videos somewhat regularly, I'd really appreciate it if you sub to the channel, as it really helps me out. I know there isn't a whole lot going on in For Honor right now, and I've got to say thank you to you all for, just taking some time to come by and listen to whatever I feel like talking about on any given day. Makes my day a lot better. I think this could be the final update on the Highlander situation, or maybe there will be one more, depends on when I upload next. I am now halfway through rep 7 and it's been quite the experience, I'll tell you that. My thoughts on Highlander haven't changed all too much, but I do see where a lot of Highlander mains and players are coming from, as I can see and feel his issues now that I've been playing nothing but Highlander for the past 2 weeks, especially the whole thing about matchups, which I always sort of knew about and noticed, but as I said, I haven't played Highlander since his release all the way back in season 3 2 years ago, and have only been on the other side of him. Anyways, now that is all out of the way, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. I think if you've been playing multiplayer games for a while, it's highly likely that you've said something along the lines of, this matchmaking is trash or something like that, because of the game placing you into some match that just doesn't make sense. Whether you be placed in a lobby that's filled with players much more skilled or experienced than you are, or you were placed into a lobby that's on another continent for some reason, or you were just placed into a lobby that's filled with newer players or players that are less skilled and experienced than you are. It's bound to happen for whatever reason. There are times where I can have pretty inconsistent matchmaking or just straight up not find games for whatever reason, but recently it's been pretty solid. Now, there are some people that want to see matchmaking get split up a little more or changed around. They'd prefer if there were different queues for different types of players and party size, sort of like how a few other games have like solo and duo queue, and then try to pit stacks and teams against each other by party size and of course skill. A few first-person shooters do this, and I believe a newer game like Valorant does it as well. I can see where you guys are coming from with wanting matchmaking by party size, but I think if that were to come to this game, we'd need to see it tested for a while beforehand. I like the idea of it. It would make solo or duo queuing much more tolerable, as at the very least you wouldn't be going up against a full-blown 4-stack, and that the people you're going up against aren't cooperating or aren't coordinated. However, the first thing that comes to my mind was how much longer the matchmaking would be. I mean, matchmaking already takes its sweet time nowadays, but how many stacks would be queuing at any given time, I wouldn't worry as much for solo or duo queue, because I'm sure there are plenty of people who play with just one friend or don't have any friends at all, but I'm sure that there aren't as many teams. Also, dealing with trying to match stacks up against stacks of somewhat similar skill levels, I wonder how that would affect the queue times and whatnot. And I guess it depends on how flexible the queue is as well. How long will it try to pair you with other stacks or 3-mans until it gives up and just throws you into whatever lobby it can find for you and your friends. I'm not against the idea, and just like with anything else nowadays, I'd love to see it tested out and just see how it would all play out first. I wouldn't want to extend queue times even further or make it even tougher to find games during slower times of the day, during the work week or whenever, to add a separate queue. We don't really know how many people play this game. Only Yubi really knows. The best we can do is speculate, and who knows, maybe there are enough people to pull something like that off. There probably are enough players on consoles, but if it were to extend queue times by say 2-3 minutes, and there were enough teams to go up against in stacks, because I'm sure that solo and duo queue would be fine, then I'm all for it. Next up, game modes. Game modes are obviously extremely important for any game. They introduce different experiences to the game and can introduce new layers to the game, making players adopt different strategies or mindsets while playing through them, or allowing different weapons, classes, or in For Honor's case, heroes, see more use than in another game mode. As of late, I've been feeling like playing other game modes, specifically other 4v4 modes, because I've been playing Dominion for so long and want to get away from it every now and then. Plus, I really want to play on and see some of the maps that we just don't play on, which is something because some of the non-Dominion maps are really cool to look at and play on, but right now I can't do that unless I want to play Duel or Brawl, which nowadays I don't get too much enjoyment out of. Surprisingly, I was able to find an elimination game, actually 2 or 3 elimination games right after Yorm released, and it was pretty fun to play. I know that Tribute, Skirmish, and Elimination aren't the best game modes and each have their own issues, but Elim was pretty refreshing to play. I wonder if UB will ever make another game mode for Honor. We've got, 5 different 4v4 modes in Dominion, Breach, Tribute, Elim, and Skirmish. Then we've got Duel and Brawl. I don't think we'll ever see anything over 4v4. I wonder if they do 3v3 though, and if anyone will want to play a 3v3 battle mode of some sorts. I know people want to play free-for-all, but I don't see people mention 3v3. I also wonder if UB is interested in working on any of the other modes. We've talked about quick fixes in the past on this channel to get people playing the other game modes, like increasing the amount of steel or XP permanently, or introducing multipliers on certain days, or doing something like a mosh pit game mode to just put all the 4v4 game modes into one big playlist and just throw people into whatever, and after every game they can vote for what they want to play, like Citadel Gate Dominion or Market Tribute or Sanctuary Bridge Elimination, stuff like that. We've recently seen them touch up on Breach, and previously they worked on Skirmish to introduce wave spawning, I believe. So I wonder if they have anything else in mind, or even if the players who play this game want to see other modes worked on, or if they'd rather see another game mode make its way into For Honor. I think some of the game mode suggestions have been interesting, however I'm not sure how many of them would stick. I'm pretty sure that no matter what UB releases, it will not surpass Dominion. Dominion will probably always be the most played game mode in For Honor, unless UB release something that no one could have seen coming. Don't get me wrong, Breach is a good game mode and it's still impressive, but I'm talking about something large scale like 32-man games or something. Think about Battlefield's Conquest mode and throw it in For Honor. If UB somehow managed to make a game mode like that worked with that many people, that somehow managed to overcome things like targeting, feats, and anything having to do with connection, and figuring out a way to get players around the map more quickly, like, I don't know, horses or something, I think that could easily top Dominion. Honestly, even if the mode didn't play that well, I can guarantee you that UB would knock it out of the park in terms of general design and atmosphere, as I feel that they hardly ever miss when it comes to those types of things. I mean, just look at the Breach maps that they've made, they look really good. Or instead of a conquest-ish mode, it could be something like a larger scale Breach or a large scale tower siege with more objectives and things to do, with many more players, so that things would be a bit tighter and faster paced. I am also starting to like the idea of a horde-like game mode for the PvE crowd though. A more laid-back PvE game mode that you can just play around with a group of friends or something, as it's pretty clear that players aren't opposed to a PvE mode and love things like Test Your Metal. I know we have Arcade, but it's Arcade. I wouldn't mind it as long as they didn't decrease the amount of XP you earn per second or minute too much, and made sure that the mode could truly get challenging in a fair way, of course, as you get to the later rounds, because I feel that PvE can get pretty boring if it isn't challenging enough. For example, a level 1 bot, or think about the Janhu event game mode. That was PvE and it was just too easy to get through. I like the idea of the mode, but it would have been much more enjoyable if it was tougher, And by fair, I mean I don't want to see anything like enemies on wave 40 with unblockable, undodgeable 100 damage attacks. Something sort of like the arcade mode modifiers, or at least the tamer ones anyways, would be nice. There would probably need to be some sort of new enemies or something, but I think that would be pretty fun. It would give you something else to do when you want to still play For Honor, but don't feel like playing PvP or PvAI matches, so that you can still rep up heroes and grind gear, steel, and XP at your own pace without worrying about other people. Obviously, I'd like to see something new make its way into the game. That's no secret. As you all know, I'm pretty confident that this game will receive crossplay after the new console's release. And today I was talking about how I wonder if there would be some sort of large update for that. I mean, yeah, there need to be some sort of crazy update or patch or whatever to get that to happen, but I was talking about a large content patch that introduced something larger to the game, like another game mode or something like that, to get people back into the game as they introduce crossplay, if they introduce crossplay. It may not be likely, but that would be really cool. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. I just wanted to talk about things for a little while. I didn't mention this at the start of the video, but we're about 1,200 subs away from hitting 60,000 subs, which I'm really excited for, and I do appreciate you guys for subbing and interacting with the videos. When that happens, it will be Shinobi time for 10 reps straight, which I am definitely looking forward to. Anyways, I do want to know what you guys think, so be sure to talk to me down in the comments and let me know what sort of game mode you'd like to see make its way into For Honor. And as always, if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.